Cue the spotlight, crank the drama, because Hollywood's cancellation machine just met 10 unstoppable queer legends who refuse to fade. From stadium-shaking Olympians to chart-crushing rock gods, each icon on tonight's list was told their truth would tank their career. Instead, they flipped the script and turned that shade into rocket fuel. Ready to relive the boycotts, backlashes, and jaw-dropping comebacks that proved authenticity always wins? Drop the number of the star who still gives you chills, smash subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a Silent Fame expose where courage, pride, and glitter outshine every attempt to cancel our community. 10. Billy Porter. Broadway to Hollywood trailblazer. Billy Porter has worn many hats. Singer, actor, fashion icon. But Hollywood once tried to write him off. In the 1980s and 90s, casting agents and record execs didn't know what to do with an openly gay black man who refused to hide. Porter's first album flopped. He even ended up bankrupt after years of being sidelined. But did he tone himself down? Never. Instead, Porter found his stride on stage, winning a Tony as the fabulous Lola in Kinky Boots. When he hit TV screens in Pose, he made history, becoming the first openly gay black man to win an Emmy for Best Actor. Remember that velvet tuxedo gown he rocked at the Oscars? Those bold choices that once scared off industry bigwigs are now his signature style. They tried to dim his light, he just shined brighter. Now at 50, Billy is only an Oscar away from that coveted EGOT status, a true testament to how far authenticity can take you. Drop a 10 in the comments if Porter's rise from canceled to conquering inspires you to live authentically. 9. George Takei, the galaxy's unbowed gay pioneer. In an era when being both Asian American and gay in Hollywood was nearly impossible, George Takei navigated uncharted space. Beloved as Sulu on Star Trek, Takei spent decades in the closet to keep his career flying. He knew early on, "You couldn't be an openly gay actor and hope to be employed," he has said. It wasn't until 2005, at age 68, that Takei finally came out, boldly blasting a homophobic law by California's governor. Some critics snarled that this revelation would tarnish an American hero image, but they were light years off. Takei's authenticity only expanded his fame. He became a social media superstar, his witty, "Oh my" catchphrase making a new generation laugh. He even survived a later attempt to smear his name, a dubious allegation from his past, emerging with his dignity and fan base intact. Hollywood's old guard might have once tried to silence George, but today he's louder than ever, championing LGBTQ+ rights and showing that pride truly lives long and prospers. Drop a 9 in the comments if you agree that George Takei's truth is his greatest strength. 8. Laverne Cox, trans talent who shattered the ceiling. Laverne Cox heard it all at the start. Too trans, too black, too much for Hollywood. Agents told her a mainstream career was impossible for someone like her, but Cox refused to play small. She fought for roles, any roles, reality TV, bit parts, until Orange is the New Black changed the game. As Sophia Bursett, a proud trans woman behind bars, Laverne was a revelation, and the world noticed. Suddenly, she was the first openly transgender actor to earn an Emmy nomination, and Time magazine put her on the cover as a new icon. The industry suits who once shut doors in her face? Now they were scrambling to book her. Through it all, Cox has used her visibility to demand respect for trans lives. Proving representation isn't just about one person, it's about opening doors for everyone. And she's nowhere near done. From magazine covers to even inspiring her own Barbie doll, Cox keeps proving that living authentically is its own superpower. Hollywood tried to put Laverne in a box, but she broke the box. Drop an 8 in the comments for Laverne's barrier-breaking courage. 7. Megan Rapinoe, the unapologetic champion kicking hate aside. Megan Rapinoe is a sports legend with a rebel heart. This Olympic gold medalist and World Cup champion winger isn't just known for her pink hair and clutch goals. She's known for speaking her mind. When she took a knee during the national anthem in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, whoo! The backlash was fierce. Critics told her to stick to sports, and angry voices thundered that her protest was unpatriotic. Later, when Rapinoe boldly said she wasn't going to the White House during a feud with President Trump, some tried to demonize her on national TV. But guess what? She kept winning, on the field and off. Rapinoe led Team USA to another World Cup victory in 2019, scoring the Golden Boot. And she used that spotlight to demand equal pay and respect for women and LGBTQ+ people. In 2022, the same establishment that once scorned her honored Rapinoe with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, recognizing her contributions far beyond soccer. From being booed by some to being applauded by millions, Megan's journey shows that standing up for what's right is winning. Drop a 7 if Rapinoe's fearless activism makes you cheer. 6. Neil Patrick Harris, the comeback kid who played straight and won Hollywood, had a script for gay actors. Keep it quiet or kiss your leading man roles goodbye. Neil Patrick Harris flipped that script in epic fashion. A former child star, Harris re-emerged in the 2000s as the scene-stealing Barney Stinson on How I Met Your Mother, a legendary womanizer played, unbeknownst to many, by an openly gay man. When Neil publicly came out in 2006, skeptics whispered that he'd never be seen the same. But what happened? His fame exploded. He achieved something few thought possible. He came out without stunting his career. In fact, his fame spiked upward. Afterward, Harris continued nailing straight roles. Barney remained the show's fan favorite, and also embraced his identity off-screen, hosting the Tonys and Oscars with trademark flair. Instead of being typecast, he became everywhere, from Broadway hits to blockbuster cameos, even a Disney villain, all while living openly and proudly with his husband and kids. Hollywood's old guard once thought a gay man couldn't play it straight. Neil Patrick Harris proved that talent and charisma transcend orientation. Drop a 6 in the comments if you think Neil's story helped change Hollywood for the better. 5. Lil Nas X, the provocateur who rode out the storm. When Lil Nas X burst onto the scene with Old Town Road, he was a teenage unknown who fused country and rap and took the charts by storm, 19 weeks at #1. Then, at the height of that song's craze, this young black artist did something revolutionary. He came out as gay right on Twitter while his hit sat atop the charts. Cue the haters. Some country music purists and conservative pundits bristled, but Nas X didn't miss a beat. In 2021, he doubled down with Montero, Call Me By Your Name, a music video that unapologetically celebrated queer sexuality and even showed him giving the devil a lap dance. The backlash was wild. Outrage on talk shows, social media panic. Conservative critics accused him of corrupting children and stoking hellfire. Did Lil Nas X backtrack? Nope. He clapped back with memes and turned the uproar into free publicity. The song shot to #1 and he kept dropping hits, winning VMAs and Grammys while smiling through it all. They tried to paint him as a villain. He just grabbed the horns, literally, and owned it. Drop a 5 if you love how Lil Nas X turns backlash into chart gold. 4. RuPaul, the drag supermodel who lip-synced for his life and won. Long before RuPaul's Drag Race was a global phenomenon, RuPaul Charles was hustling in an industry that didn't know what to make of a 6'4" black drag queen with superstar ambitions. In the early 90s, RuPaul scored a hit song, Supermodel, and even a talk show, but mainstream acceptance was fleeting. Once the novelty faded, offers dried up. Many thought his moment had passed. But honey, RuPaul was just getting started. He spent years building an underground empire until 2009, when Drag Race sashayed onto TV. It was low budget, edgy, and entirely fabulous, and by season 6, the show had given RuPaul the kind of exposure and acceptance that eluded him a decade ago. Now, RuPaul is an Emmy-winning TV mogul, with catchphrases everyone from teens to grandmas know. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell? You know the rest. Of course, there have been bumps along the way, debates about drag and gender, but Ru meets them with grace and an eye roll. Hollywood once kept him on the fringe. Today, he's at the center of pop culture, teaching the world to sashay shantay with pride. Drop a 4 if RuPaul has ever made you shout, Amen. 3. Caitlyn Jenner, from Olympic glory to living her truth. In 1976, Bruce Jenner was America's golden boy, a record-breaking Olympic decathlete and the all-American hero on Wheaties boxes. Decades later, Caitlyn Jenner emerged, telling the world that the world's greatest athlete was, in fact, a transgender woman. Her public coming out in 2015 ignited both celebration and backlash. Many in Hollywood offered support, but others tried to cancel Caitlyn from the get-go. Some critics even tried to invalidate her journey as a publicity stunt. When ESPN honored Jenner with a Courage Award, naysayers called it a crass ratings ploy. Through it all, Caitlyn stood tall, sharing her transition on reality TV and becoming one of the most visible transgender people in history. Yes, her road's been complicated, missteps and controversies included, but it's also been undeniably influential. She sparked conversations in living rooms that never would have happened otherwise. Hollywood tabloids tried to tear her down, but Caitlyn's legacy as a barrier-breaking trans icon endures. Drop a 3 if you believe living authentically is the greatest victory of all. 2. Ellen DeGeneres, America's beloved canceled comeback. Kid Ellen DeGeneres was the queen of 90s sitcom comedy, with a sunny persona and a hit show, until she said 2 words that shook Hollywood. I'm gay. In 1997, Ellen came out both on screen and in real life, and Tinseltown's reaction was swift and harsh. Her sitcom was yanked off the air within a year amid falling ratings and conservative backlash. Suddenly, this hilarious talent found herself kicked out of show business for being honest. Did that stop her? For a while, it seemed like it might. She was at rock bottom, broke and without opportunities. But Ellen's story was far from over. In 2003, she launched a daytime talk show, dancing her way into millions of living rooms and sparking a whole new love affair with America. Within a decade, she was being hailed for helping change Americans' attitudes on LGBTQ rights, even receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom for advancing equality. Talk about a turnaround! While her journey hasn't been without hiccups, Ellen's rise from near cancellation to cultural icon status proves you can't keep a good woman down. Drop a 2 if Ellen's comeback inspires you to never give up. 1. Elton John, the music legend who refused to be silenced. Sir Elton John has been dazzling audiences for 5 decades, but being queer in the spotlight wasn't always easy. In 1976, at the peak of his fame, Elton dared to tell Rolling Stone he was bisexual, shocking the world. Some radio stations and fans turned on him, and pundits even blamed a slump in his record sales on the backlash. The industry's message: tone it down. Elton's reply: turn it up. He kept serenading the world with classics and living on his own terms. By the late 80s, he'd had enough of hiding and fully embraced being gay. Those who once whispered he'd wrecked his career by coming out were proven wrong. Fast forward, and Elton isn't just surviving. He's thriving as a pop culture titan. He's sold over 300 million records, earned every award under the sun, been knighted by the Queen, and built a loving family with his husband. Along the way, he became a champion for AIDS research and LGBTQ+ rights, changing countless lives. Hollywood might have tried to sideline him, but Sir Elton simply rewrote the soundtrack of fame. Drop a 1 in the comments if his fearless journey still blows your mind. From Broadway curtain calls to Olympic stadiums, these icons refused to stay down. Cancel culture tried to erase them, but each time it only fueled their fire. Their stories scream one message: be yourself and you will outlast the hate. Which comeback inspired you the most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this ride through the untold struggles and triumphs of these queer legends, hit that subscribe button for more stories of courage, resilience, and silent fame turned thunderous roar.